Braum as maybe also just anti-dive.
Yeah, well, Braum is just really good into champs like Nautilus, Leona. That tends to be where he thrives.
Yeah, even if they find the engage, it's hard to get follow-up through the Braum.
Yeah.
Kind of fills the role that Tom Kench does.
I think we've seen Woody on the Braum before, haven't we? We've seen one Braum, and it was an answer to a very similar...
I remember Kaiwing
No, it was
playing
Kaiwing.
Braum
It was
after
Kaiwing.
40 supports were banned.
Yeah, it was Kaiwing playing Braum into, like, Nautilus and Rel, or something like that. It was just, like, the most ridiculous Braum game in the world. Where it was
Did they
like,
have Braum Sejuani that game as well, or no? We've seen a Braum Sejuani as well.
It might have been. I don't remember. That was Ground Zero up against Frank.
Yeah, this is such a cool draft from
Or Antics up
SoftBank.
against Frank, sorry.
They've picked a few scaling champs in the Senna and the Ornn, but I don't know if they can really scale into this game. It feels like they still have to win early.
Yeah, all of their champs scale. Graves also scales, and Junjie, he's pretty low. I didn't actually see what happened, but...
Senna does barely feel like a scaling champ lately. It feels like more of a tempo champ. Once she gets level 6, she can just ditch the Nautilus in the bot lane and go contest grubs.
Yeah, but that'll feel really good for PSG.
Yeah.
Being that it just leaves a Smolder alone to...
Yeah, it'll feel really bad for a Renekton, though. If you're a Renekton and the Senna, as often Senna does, just goes in lane's top for a while and shoves you into your turret.
While I do agree, I don't think it's that bad this game because the only lane of prio that Junji is going to have is topside. So he's most likely going to be spending a lot of time around this top area.
Yeah.
Whether not looking to gank most likely, but just that's the safest place for this Wukong to be. As you see, starting bot side, heading up to top, which makes a lot of sense. You're not really in threat of a Nautilus Senna diving you with a Graves. So you can pretty willingly let that be, especially that you have a Braum, and just play around the strength of this Renekton, who is going to be your main strength in the early stage of this game.
Yeah, and if Forest clears down, he might just find himself clearing very quickly with not much to do this game. He is going to cross the map.
Yeah.
I really like this. It seems like he knew where Junjie started, because if he just clears downwards, Junjie does get the camp.
Neither jungler's using their smite there, so...
Yeah, because if he just clears downwards, he's going to just find himself not interacting at the point of the game where he is by far the strongest compared to the Wukong.
Yeah, well, I mean, while I agree, I think it's dangerous to be on the top side because if you get collapsed on, it's going to be worse for the Ornn Graves. And honestly, Graves likes full clearing, so I think heading down the river is probably actually better. You're not really ganking this Renekton, you're not ganking the Ahri. You are just full clearing until there is some play around the map.
So, just full clear. I don't think they can dive. I would be very surprised to see it dive into this Braum.
You're not diving Braum. Senna doesn't even have the damage to really look for it.
I think SoftBank are looking for a hard trade here, if they can get one. Whether it's favorable or not is not really as important as just getting the HP down.
Plans, but... Braum will chuck up that shield and feel completely okay.
Yeah, and I don't think they've done enough damage to go for a dive. Force is gonna clear the crab. Hasn't been seen yet. And there's quite a bit of vision for him in the bot side. It's just Junjie smart paths away from
and Envy getting a little bit too far forward here. He's one auto attack off going down, and that's going to be his flash lost. He's probably going to have to teleport back to this lane.
Yeah, risky to stay, but...
Is this pushing? Oh, no, okay. Arzy's just going to cull that out. This is a little scary. He does have potions running, and he's building himself up some items.
Yeah, built himself a cloth armor, is going to stay. Junjie didn't stay, so he should be able to just catch this wave.
But again, I think the early stage of this game played perfectly from Junjie. I actually think it was a mistake for Forest to spend so much time around the top side. You're not going to find anything down here. In terms of a kill, but you could have even looked to, full clear, take the crab, take the Gromp, and then recall. But I think you lost a bit of tempo invading the Raptors.
Oh, Aja takes a tower shot. It doesn't matter
he's backing anyway.
And Graves is going to be eyeing up these Void Grubs, and he should just get them.
Yeah, but if Junjie starts dragging, I think this is better for PSG. Don't know if he will, but especially with his bot lane and base, actually, this should just be free Void Grubs for
I think this is the advantage of Void Grubs. You don't actually have to commit to finishing them. So if the enemy team with a weaker early game bot side starts up the dragon, You've still gotten a Void Grub for yourself, but you've come down to disrupt their dragon, and doing half a dragon is worth nothing. Doing half the Void Grubs is, still a couple Void Grubs.
Sure, Seismic Shove won't quite connect onto Maple. As all things pretty even on the map. It is just that one flash lost by Evie up on the top side there.
Yeah, it might actually be SoftBank going for a dragon trade now. Junji is not 6 yet. Bot lane has Prio, so should just be the dragon started up for them. A lot of Prio in mid off of the Taliyah. Have to be a little careful as the Taliyah. Junji is not going to hit 6 yet, so you're not sweating. No, he doesn't start the dragon. It looks like he's eyeing up a dive. There aren't going to be any camps here.
Yeah, this is never a dive. Surely.
Maybe with Taliyah coming.
Okay, yeah. Weaver's Wall available. We'll see. Okay, Betty doing the uniform special, but he is not going to really find all that much. Nice flash, but he's going to get rooted up. There's first blood going over there. Vista taking that one. He does go down. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but you got down that smolder is very important. Teleport available for Betty, though, so it's not going to be all that impactful. Just the kill over the Forest does feel pretty good. Now, Spirit Rush available for Maple if they decide to get aggressive. It looks like they won't.
Yeah, nice TP from Maple. I didn't even notice until now he did have it. Makes sense into the Nautilus and makes that dive pretty inconsequential. It's a kill on the Graves, sure, which is what he needs at this point, but you don't really deny the Smolder all that much, and it's a 1-for-1. So I'd say slightly favoring SoftBank.
For sure. There's no doubt about it. It does favor them, but I don't think you got as much out of that as you probably wanted.
Yeah, they played the dive so well as well. They kind of just stood around until Betty had used his flat.
Yeah.
I don't think they even had tower aggro when he used it, so they waited that out. And this is Smolder's best anti-dive tool, apart from the giant Braum next to him. Yeah, he uses the flat.
Yeah, I think he used it early because of the smoke screen. He couldn't see what's going on. Back to live, though. Junjia claimed himself a kill onto Marble down the bot side. He's even going to get himself a double kill. This Dragon's still at a half HP. A lot of low health members on PSG. Betty's taking the Dragon aggro. Second one will auto Woody, so it's okay. Seismic Shove lands Junjia now. He is in trouble. Does actually get over the wall now onto Vista, but it's a shutdown. The flash from Dasher. But it's going to be this Nautilus picking up that shutdown.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dasher loses his flash there. That looked like a very close fight. Marble went down first. With his flash up, he must have just been CC chained by Maple and Junjia. We'll get to see what happened on the replay. It was a kill, yeah, unfortunately going to the Nautilus, and 2 kills on Junjia. We've seen him when he gets kills on this Wukong.
Yeah.
Forest starts up the Dragon. Has a pink ward on it, so maybe feels safe here.
Yeah,
and
nice
I think
ward,
Junjia is 6. Yeah, Junjia is 6 and Forest is 5 on the Graves. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Senna just walks into the Wukong.
Just
nice
solo
flash
kill.
from Junjia. Yeah, he essentially just 3v1 there, killed the Senna, and almost killed the Graves.
Maple
almost
as well. That Spirit Rush dodging out from the Graves damage that could come through.
Yeah, nice shove by Dasher. And Vista, yeah, gives Junjia a way out.
I actually can't believe that dash reaches that far.
Yeah.
That's insane. Junjia's a beast.
Yeah, gets the most for his death there. Manages to give it over to the Nautilus and gets the flash out of the Taliyah.
Oh my, this ward is not seen again. New ward, still not seen by the pink. Ping's once again coming down onto this Dragon, but 4 members strong for SoftBank means it should be theirs to pick up, and eventually Forest will claim the first Dragon of the game, but it's at 10 minutes, which is
very late.
Very late. It's not going to be until almost 30 minutes where the Dragon Soul can possibly come through, at which point your Smolder will be well and truly online.
Yeah, and we said Wukong Renekton wouldn't be diving, but this is a very low Ornn. Renekton ult is down, but Wukong ult is up.
Yeah, no Dominus, yeah. This seems hard.
With Maple coming, this is certainly a dive.
All of the Forge God, not quite clearing out the wave, in fact. Now he will, but Maple's come through. The Unstoppable has been used. Bella Breath not really finding all that much value, and Junjia claiming himself his 3rd of the game.
Yeah, when you've got that much CC, it's not all that hard to kill the Ornn. He had to use his W, which is his CC immunity, to clear the wave. And then they went straight after. And yeah, Forrest has kind of found himself at his bot lane, which is stronger with nothing to do.
Yeah, and
for
Betty's
most of
still
this
at
game.
almost 70 stacks too, so...
Yeah, doing perfectly fine on the Smolder, and I think this Braum pick is what's really thrown a wrench in the works for SoftBank.
Especially now that you do have access to both ultimates, it's almost impossible to dive this Smolder and Braum. Smolder, insta-wave clear, calling down Mum to get the job done for him. And
yeah, they had everything up there, but it's so hard for Graves to get damage onto the Smolder with the Braum there.
Yeah. Has his opportunity. Very strong.
My Void Grubs for PSG now. Aja is probably going to be the one appreciating that.
Yeah.
More than anyone.
I mean, as the game progresses, Smolder's going to be pretty okay at auto-attacking a tower, especially once rapid-fire cannon's online. We'll see if Betty goes for the rapid-fire cannon here as the second item. It's what he has done quite a few times. It does mean that you're doing slightly less damage at your second item spike, but it's a lot safer, a lot more reliable to be landing constant Qs in a team fight, and it does tend to... I mean, the evidence shows that he tends to be able to get himself... the kills and the damage he wants in team fights more efficiently.
Yeah. Yeah, just off the eye test, it feels like, and intuitively, it feels like Smolder is just better with the rapid fire cannon. It's obviously not as much damage, theoretically, if you run the math on it.
Yeah, it's always going to be dependent on the game, right?
Yeah.
It's never, ever just going to be rapid fire's better here or... Spear of Shojin's better here. It tends to be a game-to-game thing. This game, I actually think you probably can just get away with the Spear of Shojin. The only real range that you're worried about is center, and it doesn't feel like it's all that threatening, especially considering you do have the Braum, and there's a Renekton Wukong in front of you. Evie, once again, going to be looked at. Does have Flash available for himself. The Dominus is being propped here, and he does land the two-man knock-up. He's following it up with the Call of the Forge God, but this is not going to mean all that much. Teleport coming through. Maybe he's able to turn one around. No, he won't. Forest coming in now, as well as Vista with the teleport on the Nautilus. Dredge line lands, depth charge as well, but Junji is going forward. Maple, Woody, they're all here. Forest trying to get out. Weaver's Wall comes in. It's going to be Dasher trying to find the damage back onto Junji, but Junji is healing up. Maple's going to have to flash away, and Woody here is going to be allowing Junji to get into Forest and get himself that kill. This is a 5-1 Wukong now for Junji, and PSG confirming themselves in the lead.
I did not see the 4v4 sprouting out of nowhere there. SoftBank lose 2 members. Really well played by PSG to collapse on that. I honestly thought that was just going to be an honest weak side Ornn death. Where he clears the wave and just goes down. I mean, Betty winning out when these kind of plays happen. Your team is winning on the opposite side of the map. And you're just farming on the Smolder. Evie, it just looks like he's going to clear the wave here. And I mean, it's shocking that Woody gets here in time, considering his counterpart has teleport. Evie does actually a really good job stalling and trading a bunch of damage back onto Aja. And that was a nice Senna ult to damage him as well. But Forest, importantly, can't get anywhere near Aja here. He might have even been able to kill him with Graves ult, but there's a Wukong between him and the Renekton. Forest does a great job just juking out Maple forever, but gets caught out by the Wukong invis. Caught off guard there and picked off by Junjia.
Yeah, and as things stand, I think it's clear to see PSG realizing where they're strong, and SoftBank are playing to the strength of PSG, which is finding them at constant disadvantages.
Yeah, I mean, Forest has tried to go bot several times this game, but there's just nothing to do there.
Yeah.
Because of how Junjia played the early game, and this Braum pick, he's really struggling to have impact in this game.
For sure, and... with that, PSG, I mean, honestly, considering the kills, gold lead not that impressive. It is 800 gold, which is, of course, something you'd like to see. But more important, it's just been so much free time for the Smolder.
Yeah, the Smolder is going to be an issue in these fights. You know, not slouches in terms of scaling, but we haven't seen anything close to Smolder scaling.
Yeah. There is a lot of setup. Obviously, the Braum shield denies a bit of it, but... depth charge will always land through the Braum shield. So Betty, if you use the depth charge on him, will be getting knocked up. And maybe you can find follow-up on that afterwards. Woody going to be throwing up that shield. Glacial Fissure also comes out, and Mum lands onto all 4 members. Teleport now from Evie. Going to come through, but RJ's already on the back line. RJ's in the middle of 5, and RJ's going to get hooked. He's going to go down. Maybe a little bit too over-aggressive, but now Junjia's going to find one. He's got the Cyclone popping. It's a 4-man going hard. He's going to go down now. It's a big shutdown. It's going to go over to Marvel on the center. Hook does not quite connect onto Woody, but now the dash will be Evie finding the knock up here. Woody trying to survive, flashing away, and Betty the whole time he's getting stacks, he's getting damage, but this time it's going to be SoftBank who went out in that engagement.
Yeah, and importantly, get this Dragon to put a timer on the Smolder. He's almost definitely getting stacks before you're anywhere near Soul, but they claw back the gold lead, dead even in gold. A well-played fight from SoftBank, honestly. Dealing with this Wukong is not the easiest thing for this team comp. And, I mean, you saw the impact difference of a Renekton versus an Ornn in that fight. And we'll see how it starts. It's actually Woody getting hooked. Perfectly fine to have your Braum get hooked here. He almost goes down, but responds with a nice ulti, and PSG used the choke really well initially. It's actually Maple who struggles to have any impact in this fight. He dashes here into a well-timed Shattered Earth by Dasher, and then it looks like Junji is just going to 1v5 at this point, but Forrest spacing really well against the Wukong ulti.
Yeah, I mean, RJ may be going a little bit too aggressive too quickly. Getting himself found basically in what was a 5v1.
Yeah, this is not a tanky Renekton.
No, and honestly, if Maple doesn't dash directly into that Scattered Earth, it might go a little bit differently, but...
Yeah, the fight starts with PSG using that choke very well, but then themselves kind of funneling into it against
Dasher,
the Taliyah.
I mean, Dasher just played it fantastically as the Taliyah there, in all honesty.
And speaking of Dasher, it looks like he got Maple's ult out of him and is going to be fine.
Dasher is quite low, though. Looks like Maple used the ult aggressively. As Rift Shield taken, it's going to be Forrest to use.
Yeah, this is the pace you want as SoftBank now. If you're going to have any hope of winning this game, does Woody go down here? What happens?
Oh yeah, Weaver's Wall.
Yeah, looks like it.
Oh.
There's just a member of SoftBank in every direction for Woody.
Yeah.
Apparently overextending for a ward. I think he thought he was fine, but 5 people collapse on him out of nowhere. And yeah, this is the pace you need the game to be at if you're SoftBank, but it really might come down to that one slip up at the very first Dragon attempt they went for, where they gave Junji a couple kills and couldn't do the Dragon at the timing they wanted to. Aja.
Dasher, yeah, Dominus pop. Dasher, he uses everything here. It's going to actually land the stun because of that Scattered Earth, but he's going to go down. Junjie and RJ are not going to let him get out of this one, and Junjie now has 7 on the board as this Wukong.
Yeah, this Wukong is so difficult for this comp to deal with as well. You've got decent lockdown for him, but just probably not enough burst to take him out. It's going to be just so difficult. I don't know.
All right, let's click Smolder. 164. Oh, he's almost there.
Yeah.
A little bit slow for Betty pace, but no, not that bad.
And it's thanks to a good pace set by SoftBank. Especially in the mid game, they couldn't get too much done against him in the early game. The one time they did dive him, he just had TP and it didn't really amount to much. Meanwhile, Aja is going to pick up 700 gold for himself. I couldn't see if that was split with Junjie. I don't think it was.
Yeah, I think at this stage maybe you want it to be, just because of how strong Junjie is. Getting him to a third item might just be the tipping point. Here's at 2 now, as is Forrest.
Yeah, much cheaper items on the Graves. But yeah, he's there, hanging in with him at 2 items. He's got a lot of farm on the Graves.
Yeah. But you see there, the gold difference. It is RJ and Junjie well ahead of the competition. They're going to have to try and utilize that to get one of these dragons. Smolder will reach stacks before the possible soul comes up, but you don't really want to give them over soul point, because then it is just one slip up and all of a sudden you've made the game very, very difficult for yourself.
This is a very strong soul as well, so
yeah.
If you're PSG, you kind of want to fight now, but you also kind of don't, just because your Smolder is... He will have, if you give this dragon, he will have stacks for the soul fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, you just put yourself in a very volatile game state where one mistake from any member of your team is going to mean the enemy team gets soul.
The shield is going to crash there as they look to put some chip damage into this mid lane tower. Of course, we say it all the time, probably the most important outer tower to get, just because it opens up the map so much more.
Yeah, especially against Smolder.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he can just sit under this tier 1 for 40 minutes just clearing.
Honourable man Junjie giving over the wolf for Betty. He is now at 195 stacks, so he's even close to getting it for this fight. If you get him to sort of 10 off, he will just get it during the fight.
Yeah, and that might be good enough for PSG to fight. We'll see. Aja's recalling, so is Maple, so probably plans to TP. Yeah,
I think we're not giving over this.
Do they have any flank wards? It doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
Pretty good vision control across the board for SoftBank.
Dasher as well, teleporting into this mid lane, try and establish that mid lane control, and they have pretty easily.
So I think SoftBank will win any front to back this fight. They're looking for Woody.
Yeah, Woody not going to get hit by that seismic shove. Vista, we'll see if we can have the same amount of impact he has been having so far. Pretty good game of the Nautilus, all things considered.
Yeah, Junji is looking
charm
for a
lands
flank.
though, Winter's Bite as well.
Yeah, that is a very tanky Nautilus.
Yeah.
Picking up a couple kills, helping out Vista. And yeah, Junji is being very annoying for the side of SoftBank. Dasher took half.
Yeah, I think he got hit by a charm, and with that, this is going to be a lot harder. Does have the access to that Seraph shield as Mum does come through. Betty fighting a little bit of damage, finding some stacks for himself, and Dasher is still very, very low. Maple as well, hanging out on the side of the team fight. He has to be careful. A scattered earth can be the difference maker, as we saw earlier on. Arj is going to get really, really heavily chunked, stunned up even, and loses his Steerix gauge. Has the dominance pop though, as his rage bar will be filling up. Woody as well does have shield. This dragon now is going to come down to a smite fight. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Junjia every day of the week. And now Maple's on the back line. Everyone's getting so low here on the side of SoftBank, and Junjia gets one. Evie's going to be the next target. On the other side though, Forest going down to Maple. Evie is so low, and Evie is no longer, as PSG get the dragon. They get the team fight win. It's 3-0. And the Smolder is well and truly online as the stacks have come through.
Yeah, he's got his stacks and his Trojan now. It's going to be really difficult for SoftBank to find a way to win these fights. Damage pretty equal across the board. Betty without his stacks still doing plenty of damage this fight. And I mean, Dasher only doing 1k in that fight is kind of thanks to Maple finding him in the mid lane and chunking him to half HP. You have to be really worried about Ahri and Wukong when you're half HP on a Taliyah.
You certainly do, as PSG claim themselves to Baron. They're up 5k gold.
They find such a good engage. I was worried about PSG once this Nautilus ult is about to come out. They combo off of it pretty nicely, but importantly, the Ornn ult coming out to follow up here, as I think Vista lands a hook into a really nice Nautilus ult, into the Senna ult, into the Ornn ult being blocked by Woody. Yeah, so you see the power of the Braum pick again this game. Might be the most powerful 5th pick Braum I've seen. And well played by Junjia, winning the smite fight. Maple's just constantly wreaking havoc. It's hard to win against this SoftBank comp front to back before your Smolder gets his stacks. So PSG don't give them a chance to fight front to back, and Junjia and Maple constantly looking for flanks.
Yeah, 8-2 now is Junjia on the Wukong, and
yeah,
Betty, he's just putting it on his shift, 0-1-5, but now he has a stack, so pretty much every kill in the fights will now be going over to Smolder.
He did the most damage in that last fight.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely a concern now. SoftBank, they do still have their tower, and they're not that far behind, but here comes Mum, and Betty is doing damage now as Vista is going to get executed.
Yeah,
Smolder effects now is going to be well and truly online.
Yeah, not as tanky as he once was on the Nautilus once the Smolder comes online. And yeah, no dragons picked up for SoftBank, only 2. You want to at least have 3 by the time Smolder has stacked up, you know, to give yourself a chance of swinging the game with the soul.
One charm lands, but the cleanse comes out. Marble, very, very fast fingers. He's not going to let himself get taken out by that. Weaver's wall now. Dasher's going back in. Junjia's getting looked at. Dawning Shadow coming through, but not really connecting onto a whole lot. And Evie's trying to CC up the team, but there is no damage to follow up. And Betty, despite being knocked up, despite everything being chucked at him from this Ornn, is still going to be full HP. Arj, in the meanwhile, is actually pushing down the top side tower. Will be taken out thanks to the Baron Nuff minions and the Void Grubs they picked up earlier.
Yeah,
mid and now next to be taken.
Yeah, they're just winning 4v5, sieging mid, PSG are. And, I mean, it's so difficult to kill the Smolder with the Braum. You know, they have the Nautilus ult, the Ornn ult, but the Braum can do such a good job of protecting Betty that, as well as you're walking through a very fed Wukong to try get on top of this Smolder. Now, yeah.
Maple, I mean, he's 106 on the RE, and in these team fights, he's not really picking up a lot of kills, but you see a lot of them have started off with him charming someone, chunking them out, and making the fights a whole lot harder for the side of SoftBank to try and pilot. Marble luckily did survive the last engagement, thanks to the cleanse.
Yeah, that was a clean cleanse.
Yeah. Captain Jack
has taken the cleanse essentially just for the charm this game.
Yeah, as well as a lot of times you just take cleanse against Renekton because otherwise eventually he flash and kills you in one empowered W. Again, Maple, big charm onto Forest. This Graves, he's going to struggle in this game now. It's so hard for him to find damage, but it's not that hard for Dasher to find damage if he's able to land the seismic shove. Maple, though, with the Spirit Rush and near on 0 HP, is going to be able to get out of there. Dawning Shadow not going to be committed.
Yeah, Vista not around. He's the only member who maybe could have followed up on that play. Has flash up, so could have maybe killed Maple, but they'll take the chunk, and that will relieve some pressure off of them. Maple has just been constantly finding charms. Only really getting caught by anything just there.
Yeah. 3 items. Crypt Bloom going to be finished up by Maple, as well as the Rapid Fire Cannon now available for Betty, so... this ticking time bomb feels like it has gone off.
I mean, he's level 15 on Smolder. Look at the levels
315
on
stacks.
Yeah, the Smolder is just 1v9 at this point. I mean, we're getting some Ornn items now for SoftBank, and they do have 2 dragons, so they can give some dragons up, but I'm not sure what you're waiting for as the SoftBank team. Your champions all do use items very well, so your scaling is not horrible, but I don't know if it's enough to beat Smolder.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about the Smolder, but Wukong, Jinjia is just 8 and 2.
Yeah, Wukong actually has a pretty massive power spike at level 16 as well, just in terms of damage on his ulti.
Absolutely.
Becomes very threatening for something with low HP like the Senna.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a whole lot of protection up against something like the Wukong. You theoretically, you have an Ornn, a Talia, and a Nautilus, but if they're hitting the Wukong, then, well, this Ari and Smolder are probably just going to run over you. Very difficult to now pilot these team fights, I think. It does, I think, stem off draft. I'm curious about SoftBank, because we see PSG ban Kalista, then Varus, and you have to know they are intending to pick Smolder.
Yeah.
I think that is a dead giveaway. If one team bans both of those champs, then they probably want the Smolder. Looks like Leandres is going to be what Betty's looking for as his 4th item, as he does have now the Haunting Guys available. Obviously, a lot of armor coming through on the Ornn.
Gia dodges out of the hook from Vista.
Ooh, charm almost landing.
Yeah.
These charms are so scary. One of them landing and someone's losing a lot of health. Jinjia finds his way in. Cyclone onto 3. He is going to find a nice amount of damage here. It is onto the Ornn, so it's not all that impactful. Through comes Marble, lands on 4. And Benny, he is going wild. Archie's in the back line too. Marble is going down. Evie flashes over. And now Dasher and Evie are all that's left. It's a triple kill here for Smolder. They're not looking for the Penta. Dasher, he won't even allow it. He does use that Weaver's Wall. He's going to get himself out. Jinjia is going to spend his time chasing Evie, and so all things considered, it's going to be now a essential 5v1 at the Nexus. Yeah, Jinjia going to deny any potential for that Hextech gate to be used.
Yeah, such a clean engage from Jinjia. He was actually on vision, but he just made the play so quickly that he will pick up a kill.
Dasher, Seraph pops. He's looking for some damage, the threaded volley, but maybe he's done enough to defend.
Yeah, PSG.
Nautilus and Senna have respawned. Forest respawning now, but PSG, they're going to be happy with what they've gotten. It was the one Nexus tower, and obviously the inhib. Vista now teleporting behind, but Maple's there. Jinjia is there, and this Nautilus as well. Out of position now is Jinjia. He finishes off Evie. Now he's going to finish off Vista. That teleport, that flash, both on cooldown for this Nautilus, and Baron is well and truly alive. Forest now, he's getting aggressive.
Yeah, Vista may be getting ahead of himself, trying to punish the
Cyclone
overstay.
comes through, flash. It's going to be the collateral damage, and seems like he has at least made enough distance for himself to safely get away, but bad to worse, really, for SoftBank as PSG, they're truly taking game number 1.
Yeah, 4v5 now. They can do the Baron whenever they want. They seem to know Maple is looking for something in this bush, but level 17 on the Ahri now. Bet he went for Leandri's. I don't hate it. Pretty
no, I think
tanky.
it's good. So many tanky people in front of you. A lot of health.
Oh, Maple does have his ulti.
Yeah, he'll be fine. Oh, Reaver's wall coming out. It's not going to find anything.
Yeah, traded for Ahri ult is probably always worth it.
Yeah, but now RJ's onto Forest, Woody's onto Forest, Junjia's onto Forest, and Junjia's got himself another double-digit kills now for this Wukong, as he's going to find his way onto both Marble and Dasher in a matter of seconds. He's kiting back, he's waiting his time, takes out that Edge of Night. Cyclone is available, he's not going to pop it just yet. Junjia, is he going to pop it? No, Heavy's going to go down though. He lands a 3-man knock-up on the backside, and Betty's going to claim that kill. Double kill now for the Smolder. Vista last alive here for the side of SoftBank, and without much hassle, it's going to be Betty claiming himself a triple in that team fight. And with that, PSG, they're going to claim game number 1 for themselves.
Yeah, and the game ends up looking very one-sided, 5 kills to 23. I think SoftBank were in it with a chance. It was just a couple of the early Dragon fights not going their way, and as we've said a million times with the Smolder, you just can't make